Ping have done an amazing job of building clubs for the club golfer. So not only do they make super forgiving woods and irons, they've also built some clubs specifically to solve your problems. So a couple of years ago it was the chipper, which is a club specifically designed for helping you just get the ball on the green without having to use any loft. It was almost like a club that you couldn't get wrong. Now this year it's the BunkR, or BunkR, not quite sure how you say it, we've been debating it for 5 minutes. And in this video what we're going to do is talk about why, if you're rubbish at bunker shots, you need to buy one of these clubs. I'm going to hit loads of different bunker shots from loads of different lies and talk you through the technology that is going to change your life. So let's get to it. So you must be thinking, right, well, how can they design a club that is pretty much guaranteed to get you out of bunkers? And why is that any different from a lob wedge that I've got in my bag currently? Well, there's quite a lot of changes on this club compared to your lob wedge, so let's just quickly run through them. So this has got 64 degrees of loft, which is obviously more than your 58 or your 60, and that's designed obviously to help you get the ball up in the air. Now, it also has a super wide sole and 14.5 degrees of bounce. So you actually do not want to open the face on this club. Ping have designed this club in a way where you really don't have to do anything with it other than stand there and just try and fat it, as opposed to opening it up, opening your stance and doing weird stuff with your wrists, which you might have been taught to do previously when trying to hit bunker shots. The wide sole and the high bounce make this club quite interesting because it's designed in a way where you just cannot possibly get that club stuck in the ground. You know, we see loads of players all the time with their lob wedge where they hit shots and then the club sort of just digs and stops. Where with this club, that just cannot possibly happen. That super wide sole means the club's always going to move through the sand nicely, which means you're going to get the ball out pretty much every time. I was introduced to this club in Arizona, and in an interview with John Solheim, he actually is a good player, plays off scratch, but has never been good at bunkers. And he told me he stuck this in the bag to go play at Pinehurst and actually was able to get out of the bunkers quite well there, and we know how tough those greens and those bunkers are. So what they told me when I was out there is you don't really want to play this in sort of the standard bunker fashion. So you're going to have the ball pretty much in the middle of your stance, you're going to be square feet, square face, and all you're going to do is just try and fat it and keep the club moving, which should get the ball out near enough every time. So you'll sort of see there that was almost like a chip shot. It's gone to about 3 feet, so that was like awesome. It's not like I would play a bunker shot normally. And actually, you shouldn't try and do that with this club, because with 14.5 degrees of bounce, when you open the face up like you would a normal bunker shot, you're just exposing the leading edge and you're probably just going to knife it across the green, which is obviously not what we're trying to do. So some other things that are really cool about this club is it has that classic I2 shaping, which is a throwback to those original Ping I2s, which everybody loved and everybody played. It also has that nip-on shaft that Ping use. It also has that classic Ping wedge grip, which has 3 different thumb placements for varying your distances. So you could have a system where you swing to your shoulder at the bottom, the middle and the top, and that would produce 3 different distance of shots if you really wanted to get technical with it. Now, I do have some concerns with this club. So I've found in testing, when I've been using it around the greens, is I found it quite hard to get the ball up in the air. So I'm a bit worried that if I went and played somewhere with a super high lip, although I'm fairly certain I'm going to make reasonable contact, I might not be able to get it up and out high enough. That might just be a technical issue, but that again is just my own experience. And then the other thing I think is it's quite something to give up one whole club in your bag specifically just for bunkers. You're only allowed to carry 14 clubs, which means each club has to be fairly versatile in the jobs that it does. Now, you would not chip with this ball or pitch with it, certainly from the fairway, because again, having a club with that much bounce means the leading edge sits very high, which makes striking it quite difficult. So this really is a club just for sand. So you've got to think long and hard about what are you willing to give up in order to put this in play. Now, I can't deny that this club is incredibly easy to get out of bunkers. I've used this on a few holes now prior to filming, just testing its sort of versatility, and I've not once failed to get out of the trap. I quite like the fact that I just stand square to it and pitch it out like I would a normal chip shot, and I found it's actually almost easier to know how hard to hit the ball because it's so similar to hitting a chip shot. So I think those things are like great news for amateur players, and certainly great news for people who've like always struggled in bunkers. So we've established that this club will get you out pretty much every time from a fairly bog standard shot, a shot where you've got a reasonable distance between you and the lip and then a reasonable distance between you and the flag. It's absolutely no problem. You're gonna have masses and masses of success with this. So what we're gonna do now is take a couple of different shots. The first one is just gonna be a really short one. So because you don't open the face on this club, to hit the ball a short distance, you actually have to make a really short swing, which actually people might be more comfortable with. I find it a little bit uncomfortable because I'm so used to doing it the old-fashioned way. But if I stand here like a chip and just literally just chip it out, that's just like ridiculous. So like it's like no talent required in these shots. It's literally you can just chip it out. Now let's play a plug lie and see how we get on there. I'm a little bit more worried about this one because of the bounce, but we can give it a go. What I would do here normally is stand fairly square face and sort of just chop down on it. So I'm going to try to do the same thing here. Like I said, I don't really know how to do this with this club. I'm just going to try and chip it out. So lean forwards, steep swing. You're joking. Let's try a back of the bunker downslope shot. See how we get on with that one. Okay, right, this is an absolute horror story. Downslope, back of the bunker, short-sided. Now, even if I had my own lob wedge and was feeling pretty confident, I still wouldn't aim anywhere near that flag simply because there's not enough green for the ball to stop on. So I'm going to play this a bit more away from the flag. It's a little bit boring, but I am worried about the ball getting over this lip because I can't open the face with this club, and because it's a downslope, it's going to launch even lower. So again, I'm going to have to use quite a short swing, just try and fat it out, get it on the green. Yeah. So it's out and it's on, and this is where I think we get a little bit stuck with this club because I can't open the face and it's like just 64 degrees. I am going to end up hitting all these shots quite low. I've not yet been able to lob one right up in the air and spin it like you sort of can with a lob wedge, because on a normal bunker shot you sort of open the club, you know, and try and lay it dead flat on the ground, and just with this massive sort of bounce at the back of the club, the wide sole, masses of bounce, you just can't do that because you just knife it. So you've got to square face it, which just means we're going to struggle with these shots where we have to get it up or we're on a downslope. So you've seen me now hit a load of great shots with this club, but I'm a pro and you sort of half expect me to be decent out of bunkers. So what we're going to do is we're going to bring in a ringer. The cameraman is a keen golfer, but admittedly absolutely garbage out the sand. Anytime he goes in a bunker, it's a triple. So this is exactly who this club is designed for. So let's watch him hit a couple shots now. I'll do the commentary and let's see if it works for him too. Here he is. Square stance, square face, just like a chip. And fat it. Oh my goodness. Sold to the 9 handicapper. Let's play one from now up the face. Unbelievable. Out again. So a little bit more of an intimidating shot, this one. So more grass to cover. Same technique though. Standard stance, short swing, chip shot, fat. Oh. So it's not a cure-all, sadly, but it's out, to be fair. Maybe just needed hitting a bit harder. Right, so I just want to test the theory on the grass. So we've got a fairly tight lie here on a very standard 20-yard chip shot. Now, putting the club behind the ball, you can sort of see the leading edge off the ground, which doesn't make me feel that confident. And what I feel like I want to do is actually just get the ball back in my stance, hood it down, and sort of like bump it that way. But you know, I could just do that with like a 9-iron. Like this is a lob wedge. If I'm going to take out my lob wedge to put this thing in, then I want to be able to hit the ball high, and I'm just not certain that you can do that with this club. Certainly if I open the face, I can strike it, I just can't get it to go up in the air. You know, that's 64 degrees opened to, you know, 70 or 80, and it's just every single shot's dead low. Now I can feel the club really skidding there and bouncing, which is obviously exactly what it's designed to do. Jarred it. I do but genuinely believe this is the answer for those of you who have never been able to crack bunkers and just want a club that is going to get you out the sand, onto the grass, onto the green most of the time. Then I do think this is for you, and you definitely should get out, either demo it or just buy it, because I'm fairly certain this works. Now, if you're a good player and you're okay out of bunkers, a bit iffy but okay, then I'm not sure this is dead right, because like I say, it's just not a versatile enough club, and unless you're only using 13 clubs or there's a club in your bag that you could definitely do without, you're just giving up too much to have this club in there that only does one shot. So like, I absolutely love what Ping have done here. This is a solution to a problem that they know club golfers have, and this is going to help you get out the sand better. So give it a try, let me know how you get on. If you've enjoyed the video, then please like and subscribe. But yeah, the Ping BunkR is gonna change some people's lives this year.